All right, so just as there were newer versions of the three grand theories that we talked about, there were a lot of newer theories that came about later and continue to incite us on the science of human development. One such theory was the sociocultural theory, and Lev Vygotsky is considered a contemporary Piaget uh, because he really shared some basics about cognitive development and learning and how children construct knowledge. However, he had major differences and different perspective or approach to learning that made his theory a little bit different. So the sociocultural theory is based on the fact that culture and social customs are extremely powerful in shaping how we learn and what we learn, and it is extremely specific. Lev Vygotsky, who was born in Russia and traveled, um, uh, found that uh, through his travel, different populations learned different things, and that the children of each population learned certain things. Um, this is where we see a little bit of difference between Vygotsky when we talk about cognitive development in the perspective of Piaget is universal. All children learn at the same uh, um, uh, rate or way based on their ages and stages of development. However, Vygotsky really believed that cognitive development varies and differs based on the group and the population and the customs of that population. Um, Vygotsky really emphasized the importance of social context, and he really believed that social interaction comes before development. So Piaget proposed that children are active learners and they are primed to self-discover. Vygotsky said, no, actually, social interaction comes before development, and children learn from a more knowledgeable person that usually kind of gives them that knowledge and passes on that knowledge. So, in Vygotsky's view, each person, whether they are schooled or not, develop within the guidance of a more skilled member of their society, which emphasizes the role of the role model, or um, the term for it is the mentor. So the apprentice in thinking here is the child. The apprentice is the child, and the process that they are doing is learning how to think. So every child is an apprentice in thinking, and the teacher is usually the more knowledgeable adult. It's the model, it's the mentor in their life that is teaching them how to do that skill or how to master that skill. Now, how does the apprentice learn? Where they learn through the support or the guidance of that mentor. So the process of guided participation is when the mentor supports the learning child or the apprentice in their process. And he likened that to the process of building a structure. We put a scaffold, those metal structures around a building to help us construct that building. And then once the building is constructed, we remove the scaffold. And that's exactly what happens in the guided participation process. The mentor scaffolds the learning process of the child Think about how you learned how to ride your bicycle. You did not learn by reading a book. You actually got on the tricycle and learned how to pedal, and then you got on a bicycle with training wheels, and your parent or the adult in your life helped you support yourself and your balance, and then they removed that training wheel and you were able to master that skill. So this process of scaffolding in order to master that skill is what Vygotsky believed happens in any aspect of our learning process. Now, Vygotsky also preached a very important concept, and that is the importance of the zone of proximal development, or the learning zone. He believed that every learning experience takes place in an area that he called the zone of proximal development. So every adult or mentor needs to know what is the zone of learning that the child is at this moment. So the zone of proximal development is that magic middle where the child is kind of stimulated to learn a new skill. So the skill that they're learning is not too easy, so that we don't bore the child, or not too challenging that the child cannot achieve it and feels incompetent. So finding that magic middle where we can actually scaffold the learning so that they can master the skill and keep them engaged and keep them interested without losing them to boredom or to frustration from the challenge. The last thing that I want to mention is that Vygotsky really believed that language is key to unlocking cognitive development. Piaget believed that language is a result of cognitive development, so it's a byproduct. But Vygotsky really believed that it was actually the key to unlocking our potential and our cognitive understanding. And therefore, it was the vehicle that cultures and societies use to communicate with their children. The final theory is the evolutionary theory, and the evolutionary theory really, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I just want you to know that basically this theory kind of finds the universality amongst all human beings in this science of human development. It said that humans have two long-standing biological-based drives, and that are survival and reproduction, and that pretty much any aspect and any behavior or any skill that we learn is the product of us seeking one of those two goals. And through selective adaptation, we were able to genetically keep any tools, inherit the ones that can keep us maintaining those two goals, and eventually got rid of those that we did not need in order to survive and reproduce. What do developmentalists believe nowadays? Well, no one particular theory can explain the diverse aspects of human development. So this is why developmentalists take the approach of the eclectic theory. The eclectic approach is that every theory gives us a piece of the puzzle to this very complex science that we call the science of human development. Every theory kind of shines a light on one aspect of human development, and that there is no one theory that can fully explain the complexity of the human mind and brain.